The night the city lights flickered like nervous stars, Ethan Cole realized how tired his heart truly was, standing alone outside the towering glass building where dreams were bought, sold, and often broken. He was a single father who carried more than a briefcase to work every day. He carried sleepless nights, a little girl's laughter echoing in his chest, and the quiet fear that life had already given him all the love he was allowed. That was the night everything began to change, and before the story pulls you deeper into Ethan's world, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel if you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this are meant to connect hearts across distances. Ethan had not planned this life. Years earlier, love had come fast and left faster, leaving him with his daughter Lily and a promise he made at her hospital bedside that he would never fail her, even if it meant forgetting himself. Every morning began before sunrise, with packed lunches, mismatched socks, and whispered reassurances to a child who still woke from dreams of a mother she barely remembered. By the time Ethan dropped Lily at school, his own emotions were already neatly folded away, ready for another long day as a mid-level operations manager at Blackwood Enterprises, a place ruled by numbers, deadlines, and one woman everyone feared and admired in equal measure. Victoria Blackwood was the CEO whose name was spoken softly in hallways. Brilliant, relentless, and seemingly untouchable, she had built her empire from the ashes of betrayal and loss. The board saw her as steel, the media painted her as ice, but few knew the cost of her success. Beneath tailored suits and controlled smiles lived a woman who had waited years for something real, someone who would see her beyond titles and power. And somehow, impossibly, her gaze had settled on Ethan Cole, the quiet man who never asked for favors and always left early because someone small was waiting at home. Their worlds collided in subtle ways at first. Lingering glances across conference tables, moments of unexpected softness when Victoria overheard Ethan talking about Lily, her voice lowering when she asked about his day instead of his reports. Ethan tried to ignore it, telling himself that men like him did not belong in the orbit of women like her. He was just a single dad doing his best, and she was a force of nature. But life has a way of pressing on the cracks we pretend are sealed. The night everything shifted was not filled with grand gestures or dramatic confessions. It was quiet, heavy with unspoken truth. A company crisis had kept them late, the building empty except for the hum of machines and the rain tapping against the windows. Exhaustion stripped away pretense, and for the first time, Victoria let her guard slip. She spoke of waiting, of watching life pass while she built walls so high no one could climb them. She told him she was done waiting for happiness, done pretending she did not want a future that included warmth, family, and love that felt earned rather than demanded. Her words were not a command but a confession, and Ethan felt something inside him break open, equal parts fear and longing. Ethan struggled for weeks after that night, torn between desire and duty. He thought of Lily's trusting eyes, of bedtime stories and the fragile stability he had created. He feared the world would judge him, that love with a powerful woman would swallow him whole or worse, disappoint the child who depended on him. Yet Victoria did not push. She waited, not with impatience, but with a quiet certainty that what they were building was real. She showed up in ways that mattered, learning Lily's favorite color, attending school events unnoticed, listening to Ethan's worries without trying to fix them with money or influence. Slowly, life began to soften around Ethan. Laughter returned to his home in a fuller way, and Lily began to talk about Victoria not as the boss from work but as someone who read stories differently, who listened carefully, who felt safe. The change was not dramatic, but it was profound. Love grew not from passion alone, but from shared breakfasts, late-night talks, and the courage to imagine a future bigger than fear. When commitment finally came, it was not about ownership or control, but about choice. Two adults choosing each other completely, accepting past wounds and future risks. The idea of new life was not framed in scandal or shock, but in hope, in the belief that broken beginnings could still lead to beautiful continuations. Ethan learned that being a good father did not mean closing his heart, and Victoria learned that strength did not mean standing alone. As seasons changed, so did their lives. The company thrived, but more importantly, so did their family. Ethan found balance between ambition and love, and Victoria discovered that waiting had not been wasted time, but preparation. The world would never see the quiet moments that mattered most, the hands held in silence, the shared glances that said everything words could not. If this story is touching something deep inside you, please comment just before the ending and share what this journey made you feel, because your words give these stories meaning beyond the screen. In the end, Ethan stood once more beneath city lights, no longer alone, his heart full in ways he never thought possible. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that love can arrive after loss and hope can grow in unexpected places, please like, comment, and share this video so it can reach someone who needs to believe again. Some stories are not just meant to be watched, but felt, and this one is for anyone who has waited long enough and finally found home.